Hey guys, welcome back to our monthly shit. Yeah, sorry about that. Life kind of kicked my ass these past few months, and I was really not productive. So I do apologize for being gone for nearly 4 months now. But we got a new camera. I look kind of good. I should have been scooted a little closer. That's okay. But we look somewhat better now. I bought a cheap insert camera model here, and maybe a picture of it over here. But we bought one of those, and I got a really nice lens for it so that I didn't look like shit with the cheap 1080p USB-A mic that I had sitting on top of my monitor. I got an arm that extends it up and down if I need to, but I've got it locked in. This is perfect. Let's talk about gacha. I found a gachapon that dispenses Steam keys. I got 25 keys for $15, and honestly, some of these are kind of a steal. But before we get into those, what is a gachapon? Whoa there, Bite. Were you about to go into a long-winded pseudo-factual tangent about gachapon? That's crazy. Let's cut that out real quick, and let me wrap it up in about 2 words for you. Capsule, machine. If you live in the United States, it looks like this. If you live in Japan, it looks like this. If you live anywhere else, I honestly couldn't tell you. But it's a machine that dispenses cheap toys for coins. Alright, back to the good stuff. But why am I talking about gachapon? Well, it just so happens that I found one that dispenses Steam keys. And before I get flack for this, no, it's not a real machine. It's technically just a website that was offering 25 Steam keys for $15. But the animation that they played and the way it was revealed made it feel akin to a gachapon. In fact, this is even advertised as having special capsules that can contain special rewards, incentivizing people to buy more keys in the hopes that might get one of those rewards. If I remember correctly, there was something about maybe a Switch. I honestly can't remember. I'll have to see if I've got footage of that. But there were a couple things that they were advertising there. I was interested when fellow streamer Ray, twitch.tv/Kracher, bought a set of 25 on stream and was immediately enthralled with one of the games they pulled. I got to stream kind of late, so when I asked what they were playing and where they got it, they just said, from a gacha. I asked for the link and immediately started taking a look on the site, thinking it was going to be one of those gray market Steam key sites. Honestly, it might be, but if it is, I can't tell. It doesn't look sketchy like the rest of them do. But let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're right. This looks pretty damn legit. Build your own Bethesda bundle. Oh, shit. I mean, fuck, it looks pretty legit. So this is the bundle that they had bought. Go to our cart. 100% safe and secure. Instant delivery. Interesting. It's interesting to see the deals that they have, and I kind of wonder how they get them, but honestly, I have no clue. Alright. Do not sign me up for gaming deals and more. Check out... Fuck it. Alright, hold on. One account creation later. Okay, get through this. Yep, welcome. Purchase. Son of a bit. One bank payment later. Finally, okay. Yes. Don't inform me about the deals. Order's complete. Put in the details. We're good. Alright, let's take a look at these keys. God, there's a lot of titles I don't recognize on here. Wait a second. God, fuck. One account verification. Man, fuck this. I'm done. This is stupid. Some of these games looked really interesting. Others, well, I wasn't immediately captivated. However, I noticed a surprising amount of keys that overlapped with what Ray had pulled. So I had them send me the list thinking I was about to bust this site for just sending every poor fool the same 25 keys. It wasn't, thankfully, but there was quite a bit of overlap. But I had to take a look into these and see if there was any sort of connection I could glean. After all, how does a company sell 25 Steam keys for $15 when at least 3 of these games combined up to $25 in some instances? Alright, starting off strong, we pulled Internet Cafe Simulator 1 and 2. Although, now that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing this 2025 version. Is it made by the same person? It is not. Interesting. Okay, let's ignore that. This is the first game I pulled. It is exactly what you think it is. Imagine like TCG Card Shop Simulator and replace it with you building your own internet cafe in a fucking garage. Ah, yes, the soup mechanic. Yeah. So this is kind of just that. This released in 2019 though, so this is kind of ahead of the curve. Doesn't look like it requires much to run, which is honestly, that can be kind of nice. They also did Streamer Life Simulator, it looks like. A lot of bugs. I mean, this is the first version, so they did develop and publish this. Looks like they have a lot of simulator type games. Some of these are really interesting. Okay, now this one I was genuinely excited for. I've never heard of this game, but just look at this art style. Like, I don't know if they did all the pixel art by themselves. It looks so clean. I'm not even sure I care if they did the pixel art by themselves. Just look at the lighting, just the pixel art. It looks great. It looks amazing. I don't think the publisher was really anything to write home about. I have heard of Ale and Tail Tavern, I think. I'm like pretty sure I've heard of this before. So they're known for at least one game out of their catalog, out of their publishing catalog. The rest of this, no fucking clue. Yeah, no. Not sure I've heard of any of the rest of this, but this developer actually has some it's very small, but they're older games. The pixel art has a lot of style to it. They have demos for some of their games as well. Looking at the original versus a new one, I'm glad that they redid the pixel art. Not to say that this isn't, it's not great, but sometimes it doesn't really matter. Sometimes the story is enough to entice someone, and honestly, I'm really excited to give this a try and hopefully maybe bring a little bit more attention to this. Now, when I pulled up this one, or when I saw this one is also pretty intriguing. Oh, and this stream is still going. Apparently 8-Bit Ryan did a YouTube video, not on this, but on another game by this developer. This looks like it could be pretty good, or it might be hilariously bad. And I'm only saying that because of this area right here leads me to believe it could be bad, it could be good. I guess we'll find out. I am at least interested to try it out, but it looks like these people, or this developer, mainly deals in horror games. This kind of looks pretty cool. I would be willing to try this out when this comes out. Oh, it already released. Well, maybe I'll have to take a look at that. These are kind of cool looking. I'm interested to take a look into this developer a little bit more. Now, while there were some connections between some of these games, similar publishers, similar developers, I think in some instances, at least 2 of them, if I can remember correctly, there wasn't an overarching connection, so there weren't like just 15 random developers that they asked for keys sprinkled about. Some of these were commercial games. Hell, even one of them is basically a AAA game, if I'm not mistaken. So I couldn't find any overarching connection between all of them. If I could take a look at Ray's games as well, as long as the third set that I pulled, and more on that later, maybe I'd be able to find some sort of connection, but as of right now, I can't really see anything, so I want to say that these were obtained ethically, but I honestly just don't know. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. Maybe. I don't actually know, but if you've stayed this long, I'm going to assume so. How did these games actually turn out? Now, I was just going to say my piece on each of these games, and I definitely enjoyed some of these more than others, but because I played them on stream, I only dedicated roughly 20 to 25 minutes on each of them, so I could get through as many as possible. Makes sense. In my eyes, you can't really judge a game in the first 25 minutes, but you can get a good impression of it, and first impressions are everything according to movies, TV shows, society, all those lame-ass nerd things. So, each game will get a 250-word review on it to make everything as fair as possible, as well as a ballpark score out of 10. How are these points being assigned? It's really just whatever I feel like. It's pure vibes. I am confused. Wait, first up was Internet Cafe Simulator. This one definitely wasn't a looker, but the lower quality graphics and the goofy animations were a little charming, and they did grow on me. After I started to get into the gameplay loop, I was enjoying myself quite a bit. The long and short is exactly what you'd expect. You buy stuff to create a gaming cafe. Desk, computer, chair, the essentials. You charge people to play and they give you money. There are 2 vagrants you gotta deal with, the hobo and the thief. The thief will steal your packages if you leave them unattended, and the hobo will just annoy your guests. But those 2, along with anyone who doesn't pay, is easy to deal with when you pull out your trusty bat. All in all, this was a great start. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I'd definitely pick this up again in the future. Also, I couldn't name my cafe Bytes and Bytes because there was a character cap, so that's whack. Still a solid game though. Like, look at this. I was excited for this game, and it didn't disappoint. The art style was exploding from the first scene. The alleyway was covered in neon and posters, smoke was billowing from the rooftops. It was great. The sprite work in this game is an immediate 10 for me. The gameplay is very much a find item A to unlock door B, or talk to NPC C to progress the story. But the story and NPC interactions are great. There are some minor grammatical errors here and there, but nothing that kills the vibe of the game. You follow Lucia and her sister Sombria as their lives are turned upside down within a matter of minutes. Lucia awakes from that nightmare that she was having about the alleyway when you meet Sombria outside, smoking like a rebellious teen. Their dialogue between one another is very realistic, an interaction I could see my brothers and I having when we were younger. She eventually sends you inside when you try to go back to bed, only for Lucia to do the, well, I can't go back to bed without a drink, in an attempt to stay up a little longer. We've all done it. Sombria shoos you back to your room as your mom pulls up. The lights go out, you call for mom, no response. You go downstairs to find a blood trail going out the front door. That's roughly where my game ended, but I also don't want to give too much away. This was a 9 out of 10. I'd definitely pick this up if you want a really solid story game with great visuals. I will note there was one part I got stuck in for a while, but thankfully someone has written a full walkthrough on Steam if you get stuck. It also covers achievements and all that. Stacy. This one I was on the fence about. On the surface, it looked really great, but I knew that this could very well be an asset flip cash grab. Starting the game really squashed this concern in my brain, as I was met with a great ambience. After searching around the dimly lit room with rain rasping against the roof, I went downstairs to make myself breakfast. I spent nearly 4 minutes searching for the coffee beans to make the coffee, before progressing the story. I continued the chores that Stacy was neglecting when she fell asleep, but not before sinking 5 minutes on the arcade machine in the basement. I will note that I did notice some slowdown at points. When all of the lights were on in the house, my frame rate inexplicably dropped to about 20 to 30 FPS. But on a second playthrough, I couldn't replicate this, even on ultra settings. One thing I will mention, I love the Amnesia move your mouse to make the door open mechanic, but I didn't love that I had to click on specifically a door's doorknob to do it. If a chase had started, I felt like I would have failed to open the door for this reason, but maybe that was intentional. One more thing stuck out to me, the voice acting.
I should check the radio for an update on the storm.
Some of Stacy's lines just weren't hitting the way I think they wanted to, but the fact that there was any voice acting with subtitles enabled by default is pretty great for an indie title.
The doorbell again? What the hell is going on here? Is someone playing a trick on me? You didn't answer my first question. What are you doing all the way out here? I'm not playing your stupid game, you bastard. I'm warning you. Leave me alone. I have a gun.
8 out of 10. The ambience kept me on edge and the vibes were immaculate. During this entire process, I did have one standout idea cross my mind. Whoa there, Byte. Were you about to divulge the super secret and cool project that we're going to be implementing for stream sometime soon? That's crazy. And I'm definitely not jumping in here because my job absolutely killed my creative drive and free time, causing me to be late on both this video and the project idea. Not at all. But if you guys are interested in seeing me go through the rest of these games, let me know in the comments and we'll do a second part on this. In all seriousness, these were pretty great games. For $25, I'm pretty happy with what I got, even if some of them are a little questionable at best. Hell, some of these would be worth $25 just by themselves. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them below in the comments or join me in my Discord. I'll drop a link below to that as well, but you can also find it on my link tree. Eventually we're moving all those links to a dedicated website, but that's another project in and of itself. And if you're not doing anything on Monday or Friday at around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, maybe come catch a stream. We'd love to have you. Anyways, I'll talk to you all later. Next video should ideally be up in a month. Take care until then.